Imagine waking up one day feeling the weight of the world on your shoulders. Perhaps you faced a tough situation at school, like failing a test or losing a friend. Maybe there's a family struggle that keeps you up at night, making you feel anxious and alone. We all have moments when life feels overwhelming, like we're carrying heavy burdens that seem impossible to bear. It's in these moments of struggle that we can find comfort and strength in the words of Jesus, "Take up your cross." But what does it really mean to take up your cross? Jesus spoke these words during a time when his followers were facing great challenges and uncertainty. They were living under Roman rule, dealing with fears and doubts every day. When Jesus invited them to take up their cross, he wasn't just talking about carrying a physical object, he was speaking to the deeper struggles they faced in their hearts and minds. Let's think about what a cross represents. In Jesus' time, it symbolized sacrifice and pain. The cross was not something people wanted to carry, it was a reminder of hardship. But for Jesus, this message of taking up one's cross was also about resilience, hope, and love. It was about embracing our struggles as part of life's journey and finding purpose in them. Imagine the story of a young woman named Sarah. She loved to play soccer but faced a challenging season when her team lost several games in a row. Instead of giving up, she decided to focus on what she could learn from the experience. She worked harder at practice, encouraged her teammates, and even found joy in just playing the game. Sarah took up her cross by embracing her difficulties and turning them into opportunities for growth. Now think about how this relates to us today. Just like Sarah, we can choose how we respond to our challenges. When Jesus asked us to take up our cross, he was inviting us to face our problems head-on with faith. It's about recognizing that while life may be hard, we don't have to walk through it alone. We can lean on our friends, family, and most importantly, our faith. So how do we apply this message in our lives? Start by acknowledging your own struggles. What burdens are you carrying? Maybe it's fear of failure or feelings of sadness. Whatever it is, remember that taking up your cross means finding strength amid those struggles. It might mean asking for help or supporting someone else who is hurting. As we reflect on these words today, let's remember that Jesus walks with us through our hardest times. His message reminds us that even though we may feel overwhelmed, there is always hope waiting on the other side. By embracing our challenges with courage and love, we can truly find meaning in our lives. So I invite you to think about how you can take up your cross today, how you can turn your struggles into stories of strength and resilience. Because in doing so, you not only honor Jesus' teachings but also inspire others around you to do the same. Let's carry our burdens together and find hope in each step we take. As we delve deeper into the meaning of "take up your cross," it's essential to understand the context in which Jesus shared these powerful words. Imagine a time over 2,000 years ago, a period filled with uncertainty and fear. Jesus was speaking to his followers, a group of people who faced immense challenges in their daily lives. They lived under Roman occupation, often feeling oppressed and vulnerable. The struggles they faced were not just physical, they were emotional and spiritual too. Picture the disciples walking alongside Jesus, witnessing his miracles and teachings. They were filled with hope but also burdened by the reality of their situation. They longed for freedom from oppression but were often met with hostility and doubt. In this environment of turmoil, Jesus' message was meant to be a beacon of strength. He knew that his followers would face persecution and trials ahead, so he urged them to prepare their hearts and minds for what was to come. When Jesus said, "Take up your cross," he was using powerful imagery that resonated deeply with those who heard him. The cross represented not just suffering but also a call to commitment and sacrifice. It was an invitation to embrace the hardships of life while remaining steadfast in faith. In that moment, Jesus was telling them that following him wouldn't always be easy, it would require courage and resilience. Let's consider what this meant for the disciples personally. Many of them had left their homes and families to follow Jesus. They had given up their old lives in search of something greater. Yet, as they walked this path with him, they encountered challenges that tested their resolve. Some faced rejection from their own communities, others dealt with fear for their safety as they spread the message of love and hope. In this context, taking up your cross became more than just enduring pain, it transformed into an act of bravery. It meant standing firm in one's beliefs despite adversity, finding strength in unity with others who shared similar struggles, and trusting that there is purpose even in our pain. Now let's think about how this applies to us today. We may not face persecution like the early followers of Christ, but we all encounter our own crosses, burdens that weigh us down or challenges that seem insurmountable. Whether it's dealing with loss, anxiety about the future, or feeling isolated in our struggles, we can draw inspiration from Jesus' words. He encourages us to acknowledge our difficulties without losing sight of hope. By taking up our own crosses, we learn to navigate through life's trials with grace and resilience. It reminds us that we are part of a larger story where every struggle can lead to growth and purpose. So as we reflect on this message today, let's remember what Jesus intended when he spoke these words. He wanted his followers, then and now, to find strength in adversity, knowing that together we can carry our burdens while supporting one another along the way. Let's embrace our challenges as opportunities for growth and share the light of hope with those around us. In doing so, we truly honor the call to take up our cross each day. As we continue to unpack the meaning of "take up your cross," let's turn our attention to the scripture that brings this phrase to life, Matthew 16 verse 24. In this passage, Jesus says, "If anyone would come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me." This succinct yet profound statement carries immense weight within the larger narrative of Jesus' mission. To fully grasp the significance of these words, it's vital to understand where they fit into the story of Jesus' life and ministry. At this point in the Gospel, Jesus is preparing his disciples for what lies ahead. He has just revealed to them that he must suffer, be killed, and be raised on the third day. This revelation shocked his followers and raised many questions about their own lives and the sacrifices they might have to make. When Jesus invites his followers to take up their cross, he is asking them to join him on a path that leads through sacrifice. The cross was not merely an object, it was a symbol of suffering and death, associated with criminals and those who defied Roman authority. By using such imagery, Jesus was communicating that following him would not always be a joyous journey filled with blessings. Instead, it might involve hardships that require full commitment and courage. But why is this call so significant? It underscores the central theme of Jesus' teachings, love and commitment to something greater than oneself. Taking up one's cross signifies a willingness to endure challenges for the sake of faith and love for God and love for others. It teaches us that true discipleship involves self-denial and an embrace of our personal struggles as part of our growth in faith. Jesus was not only focused on individual burdens, he also highlighted the importance of community in carrying those loads together. Consider how he walked alongside his disciples, teaching them not just through words but through shared experiences. They celebrated victories like healing miracles but also faced opposition together. In these moments, they learned that true strength comes from unity, caring for one another as they navigated life's trials. Now let's bring this back to us today. Like the early disciples, we are invited to take our own crosses, those challenging moments in our lives that shape who we are. Whether it's dealing with grief, overcoming fears, or stepping out of comfort zones to help others, each burden can teach us important lessons about love, resilience, and faithfulness. To apply this teaching in our own lives, we need to ask ourselves what our cross looks like. What sacrifices are we being called to make? How can we support each other as we carry these burdens? Jesus encourages us not only to bear our crosses but also to lift each other's spirits along the way. Ultimately, embracing this message transforms our perspective on suffering. It reminds us that through sacrifice comes deeper fulfillment, the kind that draws us closer to God and strengthens our bonds with one another. So today, let's reflect on how we can take up our own crosses with courage while supporting those around us who are facing their struggles too. In doing so, we truly honor the essence of Christ's call as we follow him faithfully on this journey called life. As we dive deeper into understanding what it means to take up your cross, we must explore the rich symbolism of the cross itself. The cross represents sacrifice, love, and the acceptance of life's hardships. It serves as a powerful reminder that while life may present us with challenges, these very struggles can also lead to profound growth and transformation. Take a moment to think about what the cross meant for Jesus. He willingly faced immense suffering and ultimately gave his life for humanity. This act of love was not just about enduring pain, it was a choice made out of deep compassion for each of us. When Jesus invites us to take up our crosses, he calls us to follow in his footsteps, embracing sacrifice as an expression of love for God and others. Let's look at some stories from the Bible that illustrate what it means to bear one's own cross. One of the most compelling examples is that of Job. Job faced incredible hardships. He lost his wealth, his health, and even his children. Despite these overwhelming losses, Job remained steadfast in his faith. He questioned God, expressed his pain, and yet never lost hope in God's ultimate goodness. Through his trials, Job learned resilience and deepened his relationship with God, reminding us that embracing our hardships can lead to greater strength and understanding. Another example is that of Joseph, who faced numerous challenges throughout his life. Betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, and wrongfully imprisoned, Joseph encountered more than his fair share of adversity. Yet through every setback, he maintained faith in God's plan for him. Eventually, he rose to power in Egypt and was able to save many during a time of famine. Joseph's journey teaches us that perseverance through hardship often leads to unexpected blessings, not just for ourselves but for others as well. Then there's the story of Ruth, a young woman who clung to her mother-in-law Naomi after losing her husband. Ruth faced a difficult path filled with uncertainty as she chose to stay loyal and help Naomi rather than returning to her own family. Through her commitment and hard work in gleaning grain in the fields, she ultimately became part of Jesus' lineage, a beautiful testament to how love and sacrifice can intertwine to create something magnificent. Now let's reflect on how these stories connect with our lives today. Each character faced their own unique crosses, but they persevered through faith and love. We too have our own burdens, sometimes heavy emotions or challenging situations that seem insurmountable. But like Job, Joseph, and Ruth, we can find strength when we lean into those struggles rather than shy away from them. Each time we choose love over fear or show kindness even when it's difficult, we are taking up our crosses in our own lives. It might be reaching out to someone who needs support or making sacrifices for the good of others, even when it feels tough. As you consider your own journey today, think about what your cross looks like. How can embracing it lead you closer to your purpose? How can these stories inspire you to face your challenges with courage? By following Jesus' example and accepting our hardships with grace, we not only grow stronger ourselves but also become beacons of hope for those around us. So let's take this message with us as we move forward, embracing our crosses together through love and resilience while reflecting the light that Jesus brings into our lives every day. As we reflect on the powerful message of taking up our cross, it's time to explore real-life examples of individuals who embody the spirit of courage and determination. These stories remind us that we can witness the essence of taking up your cross in everyday heroes around us, people who face their struggles head-on and inspire others along the way. Let's start with the incredible story of Malala Yousafzai. At just 15 years old, Malala stood up for girls' education in Pakistan. Despite facing threats from the Taliban, she fearlessly spoke out about the importance of education for girls, advocating for change in her community. Her courage drew global attention, but it also placed her life in danger. In 2012, she was shot in an assassination attempt but survived against all odds. Instead of being silenced, she continued her mission with even greater resolve. Today, Malala is a symbol of hope and resilience, using her voice to empower millions of girls around the world. Her story exemplifies what it means to take up your cross, facing the risks with the commitment to fight for a better future for others. Another remarkable figure is Nick Vujicic, a motivational speaker born without arms or legs. Nick faced immense challenges growing up, battling feelings of isolation and despair. However, he chose to embrace life with joy and purpose instead of letting his condition define him. He founded the organization Life Without Limbs, traveling the world to share his message of hope and overcoming adversity. Through his inspiring speeches, Nick helps countless people understand that everyone has their own cross to bear, and it's how we approach those struggles that truly matters. His determination to live a full life reminds us that we can rise above our circumstances when we carry our crosses with love and faith. Finally, consider the story of Jessica Copeland, a single mother who faced incredible obstacles after unexpectedly becoming a caregiver to her disabled child. Juggling work while caring for her daughter's special needs tested her physically and emotionally. Jessica had moments of doubt, feeling overwhelmed by the demands placed on her. Yet she found strength through her love for her daughter and the support of her community. By sharing her journey online through social media, she created a network of other mothers who shared similar experiences. Her story speaks volumes and serves as a powerful reminder that taking up one's cross often involves not just enduring hardship but also connecting with others who are on similar paths. As we hear these stories of Malala, Nick, and Jessica, let's recognize that taking up your cross is not just a reminder of struggle, it's also an opportunity to inspire hope in others while living courageously through our own challenges. Each of these individuals faced their own unique trials but chose to embrace them fully. They transformed their hardships into messages of resilience and love. So as you think about your own life today, consider how you can embody the spirit of taking up your cross. What challenges are you facing? How can you transform those trials into opportunities to uplift not only yourself but also those around you? Remember that by sharing your journey with others, just like Malala, Nick, and Jessica did, you can shine a light that helps guide others through their own pain. Let this message empower you as we strive to carry our crosses together with love and resilience, supporting each other every step of the way. In doing so, we honor the teachings of Jesus and embody his call in our everyday lives. As we reflect on the inspiring stories of those who have bravely taken up their crosses, it's important to turn our gaze inward and consider our own lives. Each of us faces struggles that can feel overwhelming at times, but it's in these moments that we can find strength through faith. Just as Jesus called his followers to embrace their burdens, we too are invited to reflect on our personal journeys. Let's take a moment to think about the challenges you may be facing right now. Perhaps it's a difficult relationship, a health issue, or feelings of doubt and fear about the future. What is your cross? How does it weigh on your heart? We all have unique struggles that define us, moments when we feel lost, alone, or unsure of what to do next. In such moments of difficulty, it's essential to remember that you are not alone. Jesus understands our pain. He walked through his own trials with grace and determination. Reflecting on his journey can provide us with comfort and guidance as we navigate our paths. Ask yourself, how can I draw strength from my faith during this challenging time? Consider the teachings of Jesus and how they encourage us to approach our struggles with courage. When he spoke about taking up one's cross, he wasn't just asking for blind endurance, he was inviting us to engage with our hardships actively. It's about finding purpose amidst pain and recognizing that every challenge presents an opportunity for growth. Let's reflect further. How might your struggles shape you into a stronger person? Think about times when you faced difficulties in the past. What did you learn from those experiences? Often, it is through our obstacles that we discover resilience we didn't know we had. Just like Job, Joseph, or Ruth from the Bible, embracing difficulties can lead not only to personal strength but also to deeper connections with others who share similar experiences. Now let me ask you this, how can your current challenges be transformed into lessons for yourself and those around you? Suppose you're feeling overwhelmed by a personal burden. Rather than carrying it silently, could sharing your journey with someone foster understanding and support? You might inspire someone else who feels isolated in their struggle. It's also worth considering how you can support others who are carrying their own crosses. By showing compassion and empathy, you embody the spirit of love that Jesus exemplified. Sometimes just being there for someone else can remind us of the strength and hope we all possess when we come together. As you ponder these questions today, let them guide your thoughts towards action. Embrace your cross as part of your unique journey, recognize it as an opportunity for growth and connection. Remember that through faith, we find solace and hope even in our darkest moments. As we move forward together, let's continue to seek strength in our struggles while supporting one another along the way. In taking up our crosses with love and resilience, we embody Jesus' teachings and create a community filled with hope and encouragement for all who need it. So take a deep breath, reflect on your journey, and step confidently into whatever lies ahead, knowing that together we can carry each other's burdens and walk towards brighter days. As we think about the powerful message behind taking up your cross, it becomes essential to translate these ideas into practical actions that we can incorporate into our daily lives. Jesus' teachings offer us a roadmap for how to embrace our challenges while also helping others carry their burdens. So, let's explore some small but impactful steps you can take right now. First, start by acknowledging your own challenges. Sometimes, simply naming what you're struggling with, whether it's stress at work, a personal relationship, or feelings of isolation, can be the first step in facing those issues head-on. Write it down or share it with a trusted friend or family member. This not only lightens your load but also opens the door for support and empathy from others. Next, consider how you can reframe your mindset. Instead of viewing your struggles solely as burdens, try to see them as opportunities for growth. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this situation, or how can this challenge strengthen my character? Embracing this perspective can transform the way you approach difficulties in life, making them feel less daunting and more like stepping stones. Now, let's talk about action steps that can help you support others. One practical way to embody the spirit of taking up your cross is through acts of kindness. Look around you, are there friends or colleagues who seem to be carrying heavy burdens? Maybe a simple offer to listen or share a meal together can lighten their load. Sometimes, just being there for someone else can provide immense relief and connection. Another powerful step is to volunteer in your community. Engaging in service can be a wonderful opportunity to take your focus off your own struggles while also helping others. Whether it's serving at a local food bank, assisting in a community garden, or participating in a cleanup project, being part of something bigger helps foster a sense of unity and purpose. Don't forget about the value of prayers and positive affirmation. If you are praying for yourself, take that time to pray for others as well. Lift up friends or family members who may be going through tough times. Your prayers can be a source of strength and support for them, just as your faith will strengthen you in your own trials. Lastly, consider joining a support group or community group related to your challenges. These gatherings can provide a safe space where individuals share their experiences, offer assistance, and uplift one another. Whether it's an online forum or an in-person meeting, these connections can remind you that you are not alone in your struggles. As you reflect upon these actionable steps, remember that embracing your cross doesn't have to be done alone. When we share our burdens and extend our hands to help others with theirs, we create a community filled with support and love. Together, we fulfill the heart of Jesus' message, transforming our challenges into opportunities for connection and growth. So today, take a moment to think about one small action you can implement in your life. Whether it's reaching out for help or offering assistance to someone else, each effort counts. Embrace the spirit of taking up your cross with courage, compassion, and love, not just for yourself but for everyone around you. Let's walk forward together on this journey, carrying our crosses alongside each other and shining light into the world. As we come to the end of our exploration on the powerful message of taking up your cross, it's essential to wrap up with a heartfelt reminder of hope and perseverance. Life, with all its ups and downs, can sometimes leave us feeling lost or overwhelmed. But in these moments, I want you to remember that you are never alone. Jesus walks alongside us, offering strength and comfort during our most challenging times. When Jesus spoke those poignant words about taking up our crosses, he wasn't merely highlighting the existence of suffering, rather, he was inviting us into a deeper relationship with him through our struggles. Each of us faces unique challenges, and while they may feel heavy at times, they also serve a purpose in shaping who we are meant to be. Every trial can deepen our faith, teach us resilience, and help us grow into more compassionate individuals. Think back to the moments we've discussed today, stories filled with courage and determination from biblical figures like Job and Ruth, as well as modern-day heroes like Malala Yousafzai and Nick Vujicic. These individuals faced immense trials yet turned their hardships into stories of hope for others. They remind us that there is light even in the darkness, and that light often comes from the strength we find within ourselves when we choose to carry our burdens forward rather than avoiding them. So, how do we do this? How do we see our struggles as part of a larger journey? It starts by embracing every aspect of our lives, both the joyous moments and the painful ones, and acknowledging that each experience contributes to our growth. When you face hardships, remind yourself that this is not just a season to endure but a chapter in your story that will unfold beautifully over time. As you navigate through your challenges, lean into your faith for guidance. Pray for strength when you feel weak and seek comfort in knowing that Jesus understands your pain because he walked this earth amidst trials himself. His love is unconditional, always ready to uplift you no matter how heavy your cross may feel at times. Let this message serve as encouragement. Your struggles do not define you, instead, they pave the way for transformation. As you embrace these moments with courage and grace, recognize that you are also positioned to be a source of hope for others. By sharing your story and lifting those around you with kindness or support, you're embodying the spirit of what it truly means to take up your cross. As we close today's reflection together, I invite you to look inward. Reflect on what it means for you personally to take up your cross, and how doing so opens doors not only for personal healing but also for creating connection within your community. Remember this, every step forward is an act of faith, every burden shared is an invitation for hope. So take heart as you move forward on this journey called life. Carry your cross with pride knowing Jesus walks with you every step of the way. Embrace each moment, both good and bad, because together we're building a narrative filled with purpose, resilience, and above all, love. Let's shine brightly in this world by supporting one another along the way as we share in both struggles and triumphs hand in hand. As we conclude our journey of exploring the powerful meaning behind taking up your cross, it is important to recognize that each of you has a unique story to tell. You've listened to stories of resilience, hope, and faith, and now I invite you to reflect on your own experiences. How have you embraced your challenges? What does it mean for you to take up your cross in your daily life? I encourage you to take a moment and think about the struggles you've faced. Perhaps it was a time of personal loss, a difficult relationship, or a health challenge that tested your spirit. How did those experiences shape you? What lessons did you learn along the way? By sharing these stories, not only do we honor our journeys, but we also create spaces of connection and understanding with others who may be walking similar paths. Now, I'd love for you to engage with us as a community. In the comments below, feel free to share your own experiences related to taking up your cross. Perhaps you found strength in your faith during tough times, or maybe you've helped someone else carry their burden. Whatever it is, your story can serve as an inspiration for others who might feel alone in their struggles. Remember, vulnerability breeds connection. When we share our hardships, we allow others to see they are not alone. If you're unsure where to start, consider these questions. What challenges have tested your faith? In what ways have you seen growth come from those trials? How has Jesus been present in your life during difficult moments? Reflecting on these questions can help guide your thoughts as you express yourself. Moreover, think about how you can live out this teaching moving forward. After sharing your story, perhaps you can identify small steps you can take to uplift others. Whether it's reaching out to someone who seems burdened or volunteering your time to help those in need, every act of kindness counts. Let's also remember that sharing isn't just about recounting past struggles, it's about creating a supportive environment where we can all learn from one another. Your insights may provide hope and encouragement for someone who is currently facing their own battle. As we part ways today, hold on to the understanding that taking up our crosses is a journey we share together. Let's carry each other's burdens and cultivate a community grounded in love, support, and faith. By doing so, we not only honor our individual paths but also reflect the teachings of Jesus in our actions toward one another. So let's keep this conversation going. Share your stories in the comments below and let's inspire each other on this journey called life. Together, we can shine brightly through our trials and celebrate the resilience that comes from embracing both the joys and challenges along the way. Thank you for joining us today. Let's continue to walk alongside one another as we take up our crosses with courage and compassion.